Hello, hello. Uh-oh. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Let's see. I don't need that, do I? There we go. All right, welcome one and all. I'm back on my good microphone, I hope. Not that it was all that great before, but it's better than Dixie cups and string, right? Um you know what? Maybe I should try a Dixie cup and some string. All right, welcome one and all. A lot of people here already. Let me see here. Let me do this, and we are good to go. And then I'm going to say hello to a couple of people, and then we'll get into it. Yes, perfect. All right, that is good, and that seems okay. And I got the troll spray engaged, so okay. And I got the troll spray engaged. All right, sorry for the echo. Speaking of troll spray, I'm still just like tripping about that person the other day. Oh, I love that picture of Archie laying on Meghan's tummy. It's just so interesting, that thing I read the other day. Oh man. Okay, wait. Let me see. Has lost access to your. Really? Okay. All right. I hope I didn't just disappear for a second. Okay. I just got a weird message from StreamYard, so if something happened, well, I just fixed it, I hope. Okay. Did you guys lose me for a minute? Good Lord, there's a lot of comments. Okay. Hello, Lydia. Shelly L is here. Rosa Roberts, Berta Sanchez, Fancy, Jeannie Hyde, Nancy Austin, Berta Sanchez, Connie Bomber. Hi, Connie Bomber. Let's see who else is here. Oh, um, Black Queen is here. Nice, Elaine Parker. Unstoppable Favor. I like that. That sounds so biblical. Uh, Lucy Wynn is here. Oh, by the way, you guys, I went over to my mail service, my mailbox, and I picked up some stuff. I haven't opened anything yet, but if you sent a gift to the mailbox, I got it, and I will open them later. But I had to get some work done first, so I hope you guys don't mind. But I did go over and I grabbed some stuff, and then I came back home so I could eat breakfast and work. Okay, Sharon Chung is here. Jan Martin. Oh, got a super sticker from Kim Peaches. Thank you so much, Kim Peaches. And also, thank you so much for being here. Happy Saturday to you. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, Audrey Teschner is here. Lottie, Francilia Mosley. Dolores Williams is here. Hi, Dolores. So I saw this. There we go. Liberia Rose, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you, my friend. And thank you so much for all the help and inspiration that you gave me to help me get this platform started. Very nice of you. Very sweet. Love you so much. Very, very kind of you. But thank you for all of your encouragement to help me with this platform. And also, thank you so much for being a member and for watching Royal Sussex. Yeah, you guys have no idea how much she helped me. Let me see here. Okay. Bridget Jean Cross, hello, how are you? Let me see. You got a message here already, huh? If there is anybody else living in Europe in the chat room Can you check and see if the documentary has been removed in your country as it has here in Denmark? What? They removed it? Oh no. Well, you know what? They said that in some places that it's crashed. So I would definitely check. You know, Bridget, I don't know if you've ever used Reddit, but sometimes Reddit or Lipstick Alley, they have chat groups in there that may be able to help. Also, also, if you know anybody who's a techie, I don't want to say right now in this forum how to do it, but certain things that you can't see in one country, you can do things so that you can see them in another country. Wink, wink. So you may want to talk to a techie who can help you with that. So yeah, and that should help. But yeah, there's a way around that, and gosh, I hope they haven't lifted it off of the service over there. That would be really, really terrible if that happened. Yeah, right. Susie Q says it's not necessarily removed, it's crashed. Wow. Yeah. Clearly MI6 or MI5 or clearly there is someone who doesn't want us to see the truth. I mean, the media is being exposed like never before. Okay, so let's just get into it, shall we? But hello, everyone. Mystics Toxin? I wonder if that's what I meant. Wink, wink. Um, I wonder if that's what I was trying to say in my middle-aged, over-caffeinated, chubby baby boomer dialect. I wonder. I wonder. Look at the screen. I wonder. There you go. Uh, oh man, there's so much more that I wish I could say, but yeah, I wonder. All right, but thank you so much for that, Mystic Toxin. That was very helpful. So, this is like one of my favorite couple photos of the Sussexes. And yes, Meghan is wearing what? White. Um, I never thought that that would be a thing. I never thought that would be a thing because she wears white too much. Um, it's like when you run out of stuff to say and you want to play it safe, let's just go for her palette in clothing, right? Um, but ever watchful soldier Harry is looking on adoringly, and then he's looking you in the eye. That's what I love about that. Which, by the way, Harry looks amazing in this photo. I mean, just that's light skinned Harry. That's light skinned Harry. That's why we call him light skinned Harry. He's got a certain amount of swag. He's got the swag. Jocelyn Young says, "Hello, squatties. Happy Saturday. Baron, somebody tell that lady Nana, who is also slagging off Megan, to take that mop off her head." Oh, you know, Jocelyn, I'm so convinced that Nana, who is on what is that, the GBN network, she wears those ridiculous wigs. To me, it seems like somebody purchased a sofa from a thrift store, right? And let's say it was some old Naugahyde sofa that, that has been in someone's basement or attic or whatever, and they reached inside of the back of the sofa and pulled out something that looked like an animal carcass. But no, it was actually a wig that once belonged to Lola Falana when she was doing her Vegas act. And somehow it got stuffed into the pillows of the sofa. And when the sofa wound up in a thrift store, even though it should have went directly to a landfill, someone managed to reach between the cushions and pull out what looked like some animal carcass, but it was actually a discarded wig from some Vegas showgirl, or perhaps Lola Falana's Las Vegas review. And Nana somehow came to possess said wig and decided that it was a good idea to wear it anyway. So that is my theories about those dead animal acts that she calls her wig collection. That is my theory. But yeah, Nana's wig collection looks like a dead animal act. Um, please don't make me start dragging her. I was doing just fine without it, but you know she's not one of my favorite people. Um, I was reading in the comments I was reading in the comments of one of the videos that she was in, and someone was telling her that she may have some type of affliction that causes her to sound that way, and that they knew someone who was suffering from an illness that sounds just like that sounds just like her. Oh my God. It's bad enough that that hair is a state unto itself. I mean, that hair is in quite a state, whose ever hair it is. But that sound that comes out of her, and just like so many other people, I think that if she ever wanted to be a proper journalist, she could, if she wanted to. But instead, she she has gone to the dark side. Well, not gone to the dark side. She's probably always been there. And anyway, that's who she is. And oh man. But yeah, so anyway, I'm not gonna talk about her so much today because I got other stuff to get to. But yeah, let me see. Where is that photo of Nana and you know she's good friends with Angela Latrine, Levin. See, now you got me, guys. You all got me calling her Angela Latrine. Is Angela Levin? Yeah, she's good friends with Angela Levin. Let me see if I can find a photo of her. Well, actually, Nana. Gosh, what is her name? Nana something. GBN. But yeah, she it looks like, oh my god. This oh my god. Okay, you know what? I hate to waste time doing this, but since we're on the subject, you know I have to now. Oh god. I wonder what people think when they tune in and see that hair for the first time. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. See, my side is hurting already. But I wonder what happens when somebody tunes in and they sees, listen to me, and they see her with that hair for the first time. What is one thinking? Would it be bad if I say Flip Wilson? Would it, I gotta stop. Oh my goodness. I need to go put some air on. Now I'm hot. But would it be bad for me to say Flip Wilson? Would is that insensitive? Flip Wilson. Do you guys remember the Flip Wilson show? You better watch it, sucker. Jocelyn Young, see what you just started. Now I got work to do. I can't be sitting up here talking about Nana. I got work to do. But it's something about her that reminds me of the Flip Wilson show. I don't know what it is, but that's Nana, and that's Nana's hair. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana's hair. Okay, all right, now I got that out my system. Let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana's hair. Oh, God. Man, I didn't got hot. Hold on, I gotta go put some air conditioning on or something. It's done got hot in here. All right. Okay, so some of my favorite photos is Flip Wilson wore it better. Some of my favorite photos is the Sussexes descending the steps in Australia. And of course, someone decided to make this illustration this weekend to celebrate, I would imagine, the success of the Harry and Meghan. I want to, I keep wanting to say Archetypes because it was so successful, but the success of the Harry and Meghan docuseries. It's just Harry and Meghan, right? I keep wanting to add something to it, but it really doesn't need anything. Just Harry and Meghan. So that photo on the left side there, that is not exactly the one that they used. I think on the one that they use for Netflix, Meghan is looking over and glancing to him to say something. So this is a different one, but I made it into a black and white photo anyway. So it has been successful, so successful that I think that it is causing a lot of trouble for the oh, sorry about that, Chef Sandy Love. Are you okay? It wasn't how I meant to start today. I thought I would get further into it, but somebody said Nana, and then everything just anyway. Let's not bring her back up again. But yeah, somebody said Nana, and I lost it. That's like my safe word. If I was having a rough time, that would be my safe word, Nana. I'm sorry. Never mind. if, if things are getting out of hand and you want to kill the mood, just say Nana. if you oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Woo. If your partner, let's see, let's see, if you and your partner are being intimate and you need a safe word because things are getting out of hand, just say Nana. Oh, wait, stop! You're hurting me, Nana. Oh, ooh. Okay. All right. Now, so, oh, oh. Woo. Oh, 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 oh. Oh God. Oh, oh, oh Lord. My side is hurting. Oh my. What was I talking about? Oh man. I was talking about this and then this. And then Shelly L said, what in the Goodwill? oh, oh man. Okay, listen, I promise you, I'm good now. Oh, oh. All right, now we are. Thank you, Shelly. I got to take that off the screen because if I look at it again, whoa. All right, all right. So there was another super chat, I think, or something. Oh, my side hurt. But yes, I think I'll try that next time things are getting out of hand. I'm just gonna say Nana. Oh, it's the only way to keep your partner from injuring you. Just say Nana. Woo. Okay. Oh. Woo. All right. Oh, okay. Oh boy. All right. So, anyway, Harry and Meghan scores Netflix highest UK rating of the year. So for the whole of 2022, and you know what? Considering that this is already just about mid-December, we might as well just call it. It's a done deal. Harry and Meghan scores Netflix highest UK rating of the year. And let me just say, I think it was well worth waiting for. So take a look here. Wells Online says Netflix crashes for viewers as Harry and Meghan's documentary airs. All as oh boy, as people all over the world tune in to the highly anticipated Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary, some viewers have complained the streaming service crashed. Oh, let me pull this down so I can see that. Let's see. Just as the show aired. All right. And it comes after business mogul Lord Alan Sugar suggests that the demand generated by the hype surrounding the docuseries could overload Netflix servers. Read out live updates as the series airs here. So Nicola Thorpe, which you may have recalled from the I, did she defend the Sussexes or at least she But anyway, Nicola says my Netflix is crashing. This is like getting Gladstoneberry tickets all over again, whatever that means. But yeah, so it crashed. Netflix crashes for all for viewers as Harry and Meghan's docu series airs, and so yeah, so this is a thing. Netflix is having trouble with their servers. I would imagine those servers, which if you guys ever hear the term cyberspace, the servers actually run up a lot of heat. They burn a lot of power and they generate a lot of heat. So when you bid on a Bitcoin, the Bitcoins go through servers, and those servers are in what they call a data farm. And those data farms, there's like the roar of a jet engine because there's all these fans going simultaneously trying to cool down these circuits. And because of that, I'm not saying for sure I know that to be the case, but just to give you a little idea of how these things work, they generate a lot of heat. So the demand for the Sussexes was so high that I wouldn't be surprised that if it was the most highly demanded documentary or any other thing on Netflix in the history of the Netflix, because well, it's really too bad that there's this problem, because if it's crashing, then, let's say for some reason they are unable to tabulate how much demand there is. I wouldn't want the Sussexes to be, in second, third, or fifth place of all time highs for views because of the problems that they're having with these servers. But that may very well be the case. I don't know how that works exactly, but I do know that those services, they depend on these servers, that is, to provide the content. And remember, you guys, not everybody is watching the same program at the same time. You start it, then someone else starts theirs a second or two later, and then 100,000 other people start theirs within the next 5 minutes. And so nobody's watching it at exactly the same time, at least not in most places. We're all starting in our own individual times, and you and someone in a whole nother country may have just started it. So just something to consider. And it speaks volumes for the Sussexes that there's so much demand for this, because it gives people a chance to see the unvarnished truth about their relationship. And there's so many revelations and truth bombs that aren't necessarily causing much injury to the royal family, but it just sets the record straight. If anything, this is going to definitely bring a lot of information forth about the media that has yet been unknown. Like, for instance, Harry explaining the invisible contract in greater detail than ever before. How the family is literally like marionettes. And if you guys remember the line from when Olivia, oh gosh, what's her name? Olivia, whatever her name is, the one that played the queen for series, what is it, 3 and 4 for The Crown? The Queen Mother, whoever played the Queen Mother in that particular series, she used the term marionette as though they're puppets. And that was because there was no longer the what do you call it, the season anymore. They didn't have the coming out season anymore, where all of the debutantes would line up. Or is it debutantes or whatever they were? I think it was debutantes, right? Well, whatever it is, when they would line up to meet the royals. And well, now they have the garden parties, where instead of celebrating these supposed to be virgins dressed in white as these debutantes looking for husbands, now they have these garden parties where Olivia Colman, thank you so much. Now they have these garden parties where they are celebrating civil servants and volunteers and such, which makes all the sense in the world. And if you ask me, they ought to do that more often, because for the price of upkeep of all of these royal properties, I don't know why they should not lend them out for weddings and graduations and just about everything else. It would just make sense. Was that helpful, Bridget? Let's see. I don't care what any haters say. Meghan and Harry just have that it factor in spades, and I like looking at them. I like hearing their voices. They have become a type of comfort food for the soul. Beautifully put, Bridget. Beautifully put. I love that. Thank you so much for saying it. but yeah, at the time when I first got into all things Sussex, it was because the Orange Menace was in the White House. And so Harry and Meghan were my safe space. I enjoyed watching them do good. I enjoyed watching the reactions that people had anytime they came around. And so that was my safe space. And then, of course, when all of these things happened and the press started dragging them, I felt like my safe space was being ripped away from me. Um, and that was devastating. I literally went into a period of mourning during that time when the Sussexes were at Frogmore. And even though you don't see them for, well, you don't see Meghan for, months at a time, somehow they managed to conjure up one negative hit job after the other. That was one of the worst times, as far as I'm concerned, in the entire Harry and Meghan story, was that period at the Frogmore. And it was mostly, in my opinion, because you couldn't see her. We didn't see her. We didn't know if she was okay. We just know that she disappeared, like she was on house arrest or something. So Meghan was eager to please and to pull her weight as a senior royal, and that is what they used against her. They used her zeal to do a good job. They used that A student mentality of hers, that team effort feeling of hers. That is what they used against her, which is the most sinister thing in the world. Is that you take one of the finest qualities rather, and attributes that a person has, and use that against them. But essentially, that's what happened. Is that the goodness that she had in her, her ability to work well with others, and of course, the A student who always wants to get things right, and that is what's been used against her. Robert Collins, welcome. Robert says Netflix has crashed twice in the last 48 hours. I have no, okay, that, so I can, oh, you say I have that right there. Okay, I get it. That's the name of it. So I can plug in anywhere in the world. Netflix is okay in Italy. Ah, bravissimo, bravissimo, Robert Collins. uh, let me see. Okay. Oh, by the way, Robert, did you see the La Bella Luna last night? Huh? Did you see the La Bella Luna? It was Chabella. That's what happens when you watch Moonstruck struck like 50 times. And I've probably seen Moonstruck like 50 times. See the Bella Luna last night. Okay. All right. So I'm scrolling. Official Lauren Brown. Hi, I'm Lauren Brown. Hi, Lauren Brown. Okay. I'm not drinking anything, if that's what you're asking me. I'm just sitting here minding my business, and somebody brought up mops, and then I just lost it. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing. I predict the Harry and Meghan docuseries will be one of Netflix's most watched docuseries, and a significant number of people will view the couple differently in a positive light after watching it. Christopher, I hope you are correct. Sometimes I lose faith in humanity because of how evil some people are and how malicious and maniacal people can be. But I pray that Christopher is right. I want to believe that, but I just, you know, I don't want to get my hopes up too high because, well, as they say, I've been hurt before and I have been hurt before. And sometimes when things are getting out of hand with your partner, you have to yell, Nana. Okay, I'm not going to start that again. But yeah, you. Nana? Excuse me. So, yes, that's what Christopher says. And I'm going to pray about this because I want that to be true. I really need for that to be true. Okay, sorry, you guys. Sinuses. Sinuses. I'm back. Sinuses. All right, so let's change subjects slightly. Some people can dish it out, but they just can't take it. Some people dish it out, but they can never take it. And Jeremy Vine is a prime example. Now, fortunately, Jeremy Vine, who I think is quite, well, I'm going to say he's probably quite the royalist, and he lacks any confidence or integrity to do the right thing. I think he knows what's right, but I think he also knows what makes money. I think that he gets it, but I don't think he really cares enough to, walk the walk and talk the talk. So he remains, as far as I'm concerned, on the dark side. So hopefully this works out. The last time I tried to let you guys, well, about a week ago, I tried to let you guys listen to something via audio and it didn't work out. I don't suppose this is going to be a problem, but let's see if it works out. I hope it does. But the lady there, I have no idea what her name is, but she dropped some truth bombs on the Jeremy Vine show, and I would like to let you guys listen to it. And I'll let it go twice just to make sure you get it.
When actually it's Harry and Meghan's war on the press and the media. And as they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace. But why and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grand? Well, okay, that's a very the idea. Why are there never? Well, I think that's fascinating. About Prince William. Were William and Kate involved in briefing against them originally? I don't know. That's a good point. But having a war on the media, I don't know whether that's worth the candle. Lucy in Hampshire. When actually it's Harry and Meghan's war on the press and the media. And as they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace. But why and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grand? Well, okay, that's a very the idea. Why are there never? Well, I think that's fascinating. About Prince William. Were William and Kate involved in briefing against them originally? I don't know. That's a good point. But having a war on the media, I don't know whether that's worth the candle. Lucy and
Okay, I hope you guys could hear that. So essentially, she's saying that what we've been saying for a while is that the calls are coming from inside the house. Now, Jeremy Vine is such a little weasel that, as I said, he can dish it out, but he can't take it. Watch this.
And you know that what he's doing is he's adjusting or despoiling your digital self. Now, you may say, well, it doesn't matter, you just come offline. But the fact is that, you know, we live 70, 80, 90 years, but our digital presence goes on forever, and you can see yourself being dismantled, and you can't see it ending.
The judge actually said when he sentenced Belfield, you didn't meet or physically approach or watch any of your victims as a traditional stalker might have done. Your methods were, however, just as effective as a way of intimidating your victims and were in many ways much harder to deal with.
The danger came from the online traffic, not from the individual. I would have done anything to meet this guy and have a conversation with him face to face. He wouldn't have been threatening. He was probably a coward. But what he wanted to do was create so much hatred against me that someone acted by proxy. I'm absolutely certain that he knows, with 400,000 people watching those videos, that at some point someone is going to take a knife or acid to my home. Or the other thing is, he gets one of his victims to take their own life. We heard about someone trying exactly that in the court case, one of the victims. 2 of them described themselves as becoming suicidal. That is not to be taken lightly. I think if the courts hadn't stopped Alex Belfield, somebody would have died.
Someone who stalks in person, we imagine to be hiding in the shadows. But what Alex Belfield and his army of followers was doing was in plain sight. Everyone could see it on Twitter and YouTube.
It's extraordinary. And I think there's a business model here, and this case has broken it, which is great news for everyone. But the original business model was started by Alex Jones in the USA, and it's basically selling massive amounts of misinformation on the basis that often lies are more interesting than truth.
Alex Jones is the man who said the Sandy Hook shooting did not happen.
That's right.
And was recently sued for libel by the parents of one of the children who was killed.
Correct. So you create a market for lies.
So, like I said, he can dish it out, but he can't take it. So someone was digitally stalking him. Oh, that sounds weird, doesn't it? Oh, anyway, they were electronic. That's the word I'm looking for. Digital sounds. Okay, they were they were electronically stalking him. And his assertion is that this person could have led someone who has a very fragile mind to come to my house with acid or a knife. And, you know, yeah, that's what happens when you create a hate campaign against someone, is that you may actually incite violence toward that person. And of course, as he said, he's probably a coward, but maybe he wanted someone else to do it. What have people been saying? Not people. What have supporters of Harry and Meghan been saying for the longest time is that it's making things terribly frightful for the Sussexes, in particular for Meghan and the children, because of this hate campaign. When you have someone who probably traveled thousands of miles so that they can stand outside of a venue and yell to Meghan, how do you feel about destroying the royal family, or whatever that wacky lady said, then okay, that is that same in the same vein. And whereas that person yells this horrible thing to Meghan, as we know, on occasion, when someone does that, there's usually another person waiting to attack. You want everybody to look a certain way to give an attacker the opportunity to reach the victim or to reach their prey. And that's always a frightening thing. So the idea of someone throwing eggs at Charles III, I'm not a big fan of Charles. I think he's done some great things in his life, but the Charles that I tend to look at most days is the one who was so horrible toward Princess Diana, the one who withdrew security away from his own son. This is the man who does not support anyone in his life, let alone his ex-wife and his own children. I don't think he would have done as much for William if that wasn't an institutional thing. he probably would be just as cold to William as anybody else in his life. But the institution protects William. So, I don't think very much of him as a person. However, throwing eggs at Charles could lead to somebody throwing something else at him, and that would be a real tragedy for everybody involved. So this is why yelling things at people in public, it can be really scary. But stalking someone electronically or in person, as that lady did with the Sussexes in New York, there's so many things that makes your stomach go into a knot about that. And least of all is the idea that it's an attempt to embarrass or humiliate someone, but it's also a way to just say, hey, look at how close I got. Hey, you could hear me. I must have been close. What else we can do? That's what these kind of things incite. And so Jeremy Vine, in his ivory tower, looking down on the masses as he's paid handsomely to keep up all of this nonsense about the royals and to downplay and doubt anything that anyone says that either validates or support the Sussexes. And then when he finds himself a victim, he comes off like a real punk. I mean, he's such a wimp, such a wimp. I mean, he's like, oh, I'd love to talk to him. He's probably a coward. No, you're the coward because you don't have enough conviction to stand up for what I know you know to be right. Instead, you're hiding behind the public has a right to know and it's in the best interest of the public. That is what he's hiding behind. So, in that case, they're all cowards. All of the so-called royal reporters, royal experts, and anybody who facilitates them, they're cowards. And if they're not cowards, then they're just plain horrible, evil people who don't mind taking a chance with somebody else's life. But that's what's happening. You're taking a chance with Meghan's life. You're taking a chance with her children's life. And you're taking a chance with Harry's life. And that of Doria, who is totally not involved in this in any way. Doria's not getting a title. Doria's not a blood relative of that family, of the royal family. So, yeah, it's a lot of people that are being left vulnerable because of the work that so many of these people are doing. But it doesn't seem to hurt anyone until they feel threatened, just like with Victoria Arbiter. None of the reporting that she has done in the past has meant anything to anybody. It's just in the public interest. However, when she feels threatened, when she feels set upon, then all of a sudden it's a crime. They all do that. They all do that when when it gets serious. When it involves their health and well-being or their mental health, then all of a sudden, it's not just a job. It's, you know what? And then, of course, they all want to...
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
They all want the popo. All of a sudden, they want the popo. They all want the police involved when it's them. When it's anybody else, oh, you're exaggerating. You're exaggerating. But when it comes to them, they want the full measure of the law involved. Make that make sense. Okay, so moving on. Let me see. Should I? Oh, yeah. You know what? This is one of the old. This is the only slide of his that I've saved. Was should Archie become a prince? And I remember on that show, was it Nina Miskow? Nina Miskow was saying at the time how awful it was to have Archie. Was this before Lily was born? I think this was before Lily was born. She said how awful it was that Archie would not receive a title or should not receive a title. She said it was awful because it makes him different from the rest of the family, and how painful that would be to him. And of course, Jeremy Vine with his little all shucks, and that, oh, do you think so? He always downplays or refutes anything that is supportive of the Sussexes. Never puts in a word for them. And that's a stellar record when nothing the Sussexes ever want or say or do in any way can be right. Then you're dealing with someone that is full of hate. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. So I have an opinion about this person right here. Jason Knopf was mentioned, but not really in a way that so much accused him of anything directly. It was kind of inferred in so many words, but there was no direct mention that he is culpable for anything or that he has done anything wrong. And so, as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, well, in the documentary, I believe they mentioned his name twice, right? But I suppose that either something is going to happen in the courts, or they think something may be happening in the court soon, and so better to leave it alone. Or, yeah, I'm going to just say that. I think something legal may be happening where that's concerned, and therefore they decided not to mention much. This basically was about the Sussexes, and there's bits and pieces of how they were affected, how their family and friends were affected. But so far, it's not really trying the case against the family. They haven't got there yet. So that is forthcoming. They barely mention Charles. They somewhat mention the Queen, not much. And so it's a good overview. It's a good overview. Like the thing about the curtsy. Meghan could have said so much more with the thing about the curtsy, but she did not, because I believe those things are forthcoming. For those, I say just stay tuned, be patient, and all shall be revealed. I don't think that we're going to get anywhere close to that just yet. Again, this is just my opinion. I think it's an overview. And so we've had a little bit of humor here and there, right? Like, my favorite is, of course, the curtsy, where, Meghan just seems to exaggerate her moves and everything. And, well, for Harry, it was just kind of like, what are you doing? As you can see, Harry just kind of froze at this point. He didn't have much to add to it. He let her say what she had on her mind, and they moved on. So I could imagine that for him, with the way he feels about his grandmother, that it was just like anything that drifts in that direction is probably something that is unnerving for him. But for Meghan, again, she doesn't have that sense of deference like the family members do. So, well, his family, his blood family has that deference. And so for her, like she said, I thought it was a joke. And that seems to be the big thing that bothers people, or not even bothers people, but that's where with everything that was said and done, the thing that the press is making the biggest deal about is the curtsy, as though she humiliated the Queen in some kind of way because of this very futile gesture from, ages past. That is the only thing that they seem to dwell upon, which speaks volumes, which means that the docuseries, I think that the press is actually being extremely cautious in their rebuke. They are being very cautious, because there is a lawsuit lingering as we speak against the fail. And even though it seems like they have been incredibly harsh, I don't think that they've done as much as they probably would have if they were not in fear of this litigation. This is really just the beginning. This docuseries is just a start. And let us not forget, Harry has a book coming out soon. So we're only just starting. This is nowhere near, the story. We're just getting started. And I do believe that they are going to, have another docuseries after part 2. They're going to do some more stuff. And then Meghan, who is a gifted wordsmith, she has in no way really gone there yet. And you guys know she has a way of saying things. So I would say buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a bumpy night. Dinner and tournament. All right. So yeah, that's what I think about Jason Knopf, is that Jason will be dealt with, but not in this form, not with the documentary. But he will there will be justice where he's concerned. If he has done anything malicious, he will be called out for it, I'm sure. That is a big if. If there's a wrong, he shall be called out for it. And as you can see, lurking in the background, lurking in the background like some slasher movie villain, there's Jason, ever watchful, doing the bidding of his overlords. Well, hello. Happy Saturday to you too. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Okay, let me do that. And of course, Meghan Markle private messages handed over with William's approval. Palace veteran. William and Kate Kensington Palace staff accused of briefing the press against Meghan and Harry. So we have barely scratched the surface with this. This is not going to be a big part of this documentary series. If it does become a big part next week, I will be surprised. But I hope it does, by the way. The calls have been coming from inside the house. Dan Wooten said so himself, that's where the calls were coming from. So Dan Wooten said it, and then so many other people have said that. And it all comes down to William briefing against his brother. And that is going to really make William look bad. So far, saying nothing seems to be the best defense for William, is to just say nothing. But there will be no plausible deniability because everybody keeps saying the same thing. Now, there's not going to be anyone, I would imagine, that's just going to come out and say, oh, William told me to do it. But there's a non-disclosure that everyone signs working for that family. And with that non-disclosure, the palace staff must get permission before they can reveal information about the family. Jason Knopf handpicks a few emails that were allegedly, supposedly, possibly, and most likely custom made to make Meghan look bad. And those are the ones that were given to the Daily Fail so that they could actually win their lawsuit that that Meghan had against them. It did not work, but it did reveal what the palace is capable of, what Kensington Palace is capable of. And as I said many times, the senior most royal figure at Kensington Palace is William. The person that everyone eventually has to answer to, if called upon, is William. And so that means that if there is anything that comes out about Harry or Meghan, it has to go through William. See how that works out? So there's no way that William comes out of this without looking like the bad guy. And even if people don't care, like for instance, the royalists or whatever, matters not to me. I just want this to be on a permanent record, a public, permanent cyberspace record that this is exactly what happened and that he's not able to hide behind duty or whatever. Just put it out there and make sure that it's a matter of public record. And of course, there is Samantha Cohen, Christian Jones, and Sarah Latham. Well, these are just other people that were on staff. It was not just Jason Knopf alone. There were other people, and there has been speculation for some time that there has been some alleged abuse of the Sussexes from those other people. Again, we're not going to cover all of this in the docuseries. There's going to be so much more to come out. So when this docuseries is over with, do not just say, well, I'm glad we finally found that out. No, we haven't. We haven't gone there yet, but we're getting there. So just be patient. And the Sussexes will keep winning. Right now, the palace must be a bit confused as to what to do next, but the Sussexes are doing everything deliberately. It has taken a long time to get where we are right now, but it's definitely worth it. So long as it all comes out in the end, that's what matters. Now, here's another one of those sound bites. Look at look at her. Look at her face. Ain't she confused? Ain't she just, what would you say her reaction is to when somebody is calling her out? When a black woman is calling her out to her face, what do you think her reaction is? Because somebody is giving her the what for, and not just her, but the third woman over there on the left side. All three of these ladies are in a very deep conversation. Now, unfortunately, I am not able to share that video with you, but there are ways. Audrey Teschner, thank you so much. We finished 2022 on a high and start 2023 again on a high. They have no limitations. That's right. They have no limitations. Thank you so much, Audrey Teschner, for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And as promised, let me see. Okay, listen carefully, you guys.
Some people lead with counselling is because many people, including myself from the black community, what I've had to do, many others, I've had to sit patiently, okay, and I've had to watch white people dictate to black people what racism is. You cannot tell me as a black woman what racism is. You cannot tell me what racism is. I am here to tell you, just like Meghan with her documentary, she's had to sit and listen to everyone tell her what her reality is. So you know what? Now it's time for her to speak. And just like with black people, you cannot come along and tell me what racism is. I am here to tell you. And the reason why, let me just make it clear for you. She who feels knows it more. African proverb. Please remember that. It will do you justice. Some people lead with counselling is because many people, including myself from the black community, what I've had to do, many others, I've had to sit patiently, okay, and I've had to watch white people dictate to black people what racism is. You cannot tell me as a black woman what racism is. You cannot tell me what racism is. I am here to tell you, just like Meghan with her documentary, she's had to sit and listen to everyone tell her what her reality is. So you know what? Now it's time for her to.
Well, as I said, she is just confused. Look at her. She's never had a black woman talk to her like that before. None of those two women on the left have. They have never had. But she is just outraged. Look at her. The apples of her cheek and swole up. Her nostrils are getting tight. She's outraged. How dare she speak to me like that? And this one here, well, oh man. But yeah, this poor middle-aged woman, um, oh well, I what is her name? Is that I forget what her name is, but that poor middle-aged woman, I'm sure this must be jarring to her. And well, she's gonna have to go and take some more estrogen shots or something. But I'm sure I'm sure she's outraged to have someone speak to her like that. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all. But yeah, she's very upset and she's befuddled, whatever that means. But yeah, that is what happens when you give her the what for. So I love the double barrel finger point. I love that. The double barrel finger point. Now that means business right there. The double barrel finger point. Now, it's unfortunate, but imagine being invited by the royal family to celebrate the work you do to support victims of domestic and sexual abuse, only to be insulted minutes after you arrive and endangered as a result of the experience. Queen Consort Camilla has a lot to answer for. Well, there's an article on the BBC about how since that experience, finale has been, is it Filani? Finale. Anyway, how she has been verbally abused on the social media. There has been threats against her, and unfortunately, the not-for-profit, the charity, they've had to actually limit their work. In a statement on his Instagram page, domestic violence charity Sister Space said, "Thank you for the continued support and messages. Unfortunately, recent events meant that we were forced to temporarily cease many of our operations to ensure the safety of our service users and our team. We are overwhelmed by the amount of support and encouragement and look forward to fully reinstating our services as soon as safely possible." Ms. Fulani said earlier this week that she, her family, and team have been put under immense pressure and receive horrific abuse on social media. So again, this is the result of all of these things that has come out since the lady, what's her name? What's her name? Is Jane Hathaway? Is it Lady Jane Hathaway? What is that lady in waiting's name? Is it Lady Jane Hathaway? Jane Grey? No, Sarah. No. Sarah. Wait, don't nobody help me. Sarah. Well, no. It's Liz. No, Sarah. Sarah Hussey. That's it. Sarah Hussey. Where did I get Jane Hathaway from? She looks like Jane Hathaway. That's what it is. Susan Hussey. Thank you, Karen. Hey, Ronnie. I didn't know you were here. Okay. So the sound bites are coming left and right. So Nicola Thorpe, she had some things to say that have gone viral. Yes, and she spoke about this. I actually shared the video on Twitter, but I don't think I shared it on YouTube. But she had some things to say on the Byline TV. And one of the things that she mentioned is the fact that someone on TikTok has made her words go viral. And here you go.
Yes.
When it first came out that Meghan had made Kate cry, people didn't question that. The black woman has made the white woman cry. And then years later, we find out the opposite was the case. And now people are questioning Meghan instead of accepting it as they did Kate several years ago. It's racism. You can see the difference in how they've been treated. It's obvious to me. When it first came out that Meghan had made Kate cry, people didn't question that. The black woman has made the white woman cry. And then years later, we find out the opposite was the case. And now people are questioning Meghan instead of accepting it as they did Kate several years ago. It's racism. You can see the difference in how they've been treated. It's obvious to me.
So that's what Nicola Thorpe said. Someone made a TikTok video. I played the sound twice for you. And as she said, that's racism. It was accepted that Meghan made Kate cry. But when we find out that it's the opposite, and it was not corrected, by the way, by the palace, it was not disputed by the palace, which means that it was obvious true, because trust me, anytime something comes out and the English Rose has been accused of something or has been put on the spot about anything that makes the Rose look bad, not that Rose, but the English Rose, as some of the royal reporters, anything that goes against that veneer that they have created and cultivated all these years, the palace is very quick to lawyer up and start threatening people. And the fact that they have not disputed this in any way means that it is obviously true that the person that Meghan alluded to as the woman she tried to embrace made her cry. And because of how rigid this emery board of a person can be, Meghan probably did everything that she could to try to be family to her, only to find out at every turn that she was not wanted, that she was not welcome. And most importantly, and get this through your head, Meghan, you are not one of us, and you'll never be one of us. And so first they were banished from Kensington Palace, and then eventually they were completely run out of the country because of these two. So as I said, you guys, we ain't there yet. We are getting a great overview of things that happened and how they felt in real time. But we are not doing much name calling. That will come in time. So just hold tight, because they haven't really said anything so terrible that these two have anything to worry about. For now. But that is forthcoming. So just hang on to your hats. We will get there. Let's see here. Their interaction at the walkabout shows that Kate has no fear of Meghan. She was mean mugging her. We knew it was a lie. Yeah, absolutely. Kate was so full of herself at that walkabout, so full of herself, distant, arrogant, and of course, doing the old mean girl routine, which she is very adept at, is pulling the mean girl. So yeah, that is very true. Are you really, Susie Q? How much does it mean to you? Oh, man. Well, and the bad thing is, anytime that the English team loses, that means that some people are going to end up going to jail, because there was a video a couple years ago on News where they talked about the English fans and how any place they go, there's always violence, especially if England loses. So there may be some people from England who went to Dubai that ain't coming home by Christmas because they're going to end up locked in jail because they can be quite violent before a match, and even worse if England loses. So good luck to them. You guys remember I talked about that one time, the way they had pushed that French guy off the train? He just happened to be black, right? And he was trying to catch the train for his morning commute. He didn't realize that these were English football fans, and they pushed him off the train and yelled epitaphs to him. And he was actually the one in his home country, not them. They had just crossed the channel for the sake of the game. So, yeah, it's likely to be violence, which is what happens anytime England loses. Oh, France is the one that got him, huh? I had no idea. I didn't know that. Well, in that case, surely there's some way we can celebrate. Let me see. There's got to be some way we can celebrate for France. Not to disparage the hardworking, honest, non-Sussex hating British fans of the but for those who are royalists and hateful and everything like that, well, anyway, you know how we feel. So apropos of that, apropos of the victory that the French have just bagged, here we go for France. Viva la France! Viva la France! Viva la France! And as Charlotte would say, William is an imbecile. Oh, man. Yes. Hooray for France. Congratulations, France. Yes. Yes. Viva la France. Okay. So moving on. Prince William and Kate didn't get a rave reviews they were hoping for in America. No, they showed up. Most people didn't know they were here, and nobody cared. Everybody's talking about the Sussexes. They always do. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be, let me stop lying. Let me just be petty and say this. You didn't hear much fuss about that green monstrosity, right? Oh, how bold, how daring. She's channeling Princess Diana, blah, 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 blah. But when Meghan stepped out in that white, custom-made Valentino, is all that people could talk about. I'm just saying, I'm just being petty. But yes, that green thing had its virtues, but mostly it was just a big mess. Not to be petty, I'm just saying it had its merits, but fortunately it's gone. And we will never. Oh, was it Louis Vuitton? Oh, I'm sorry. Why do I keep saying Valentino? Probably the V. Louis Vuitton. I'm sorry, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. It's French, Louis Vuitton. Yeah, so there you have it. The British royal family news suggests that it might be the very long time before Prince William and Kate Middleton return to America again. That's because the Prince and Princess of Wales really didn't get the kind of rave reviews they were hoping for during their 3-day visit to Boston. In fact, it seemed like most Americans really didn't even care that they were here. That they were there. And let's see, in the first place, they didn't care that they were there in the first place. Here's what you need to know. All right, so that was part of an article. Won't bore you with it. The Bostonians take on the Royals' whirlwind visit. Whatever. That was in the New York Times, who, of course, the Daily Mail swears the New York Times has an in for the royal family, or that they are trying to conspire against Britain in some kind of way. But the New York Times, well, they just call it like they see it. It was a big fat nothing burger. And there's Carolyn Kennedy, who was just out jogging the day after she said she couldn't make it. She was just jogging past the venue and decided to pop in and say hi to William on her way home so that she can hydrate and get ready for the main event, which also was a big fat nothing burger. Audrey Teschner says, we'll replay in the morning. It's past 11? Well, thank you so much for being here, Audrey Teschner, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and thank you so much for the super chat. And we will see you tomorrow on Royal Sussex. And here you can see the Sussexes are often imitated, right? But it's just they don't ever seem to get it right. So Harry and Meghan descending the steps, 3 years ago? Has it been 3 years? 4 years? 4 years ago now, right? There they are descending the steps while on their Oceania tour. And of course, they look confident, brilliant. Meghan, of course, wearing white with the overcoat. And then here comes Kate with that Mao Zedong cosplay outfit. Kate come down the step looking like Chairman Mao's sister. Kate is wearing her Mao Zedong couture, trying to look like she causing it, like she's showing up to work. I mean, she's only there to get work done, you guys. I'm not here to have fun. I'm just here to talk about child development. That's all I'm here for. Don't expect me to go on a sliding board like I did in Denmark, or don't expect me to sit at a table and wait for the kids to ask me, where's Meghan and Harry? No, I'm here to work. And you can tell because I'm wearing my Chairman Mao outfit. Elaine, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being a member, and as always for watching Royal Sussex. So there is actually a line of Chairman Mao wear on, that's interesting, malware. But there is a line of Chairman Mao stuff on the internet. So if you don't believe me, just look up Mao Zedong clothes or suits, and I promise you that is where Kate purchased this outfit that she has on. So anybody can look like Chairman Mao. You don't have to be a princess of the realm to wear Chairman Mao couture. Oh man. And you can tell from William's face that he's not embarrassed at all. No. He's not embarrassed by showing up for the party with an ancestor of Chairman Mao. That doesn't bother him at all. Kate hates Meghan because Meghan is everything she'll never be. Kate also knows that Meghan is so far out of her league. That's William's crown is on the only thing that keeps her aloft. Poor little Tink Tink. Tink Tink. Thank you, Shelly L. And of course, the other thing that upholds Kate is that Carol Middleton. She did it, that Carol Middleton. That's the other thing that holds her up. Thanks to Carol Middleton and her constant fuel that is about 80 proof, That is what upholds Kate is, well, I hate to say this, and you didn't hear it from me, but I was listening to Celibacy today, and it seems as though there's an alleged relationship between Carol Middleton and the press. Alleged relationship between Carol Middleton, that Carol Middleton, as Tiger King would say, that Carol Middleton. There seems to be some relationship between Carol and the press. And that's the reason why they have been so cruel to Meghan, allegedly, and so hands off with the Duchess of Doolittle, who in some regards is considered a mute woman. She is what they call a mute woman. Or do I have to play that again? I mean, because I will. You know, I love to get that out, don't you? I guess I'm at the messy part of Royal Sussex. One of the royal reporters has referred to her as a mute woman. Now, I thought that was terribly cruel to say something like that, and it's definitely nothing I would say myself, which is why I keep it which is why I keep it handy so I don't have to be the one to say it. I mean, some things are better said by reporters, like mute woman. So let me find that clip so that we can get a full understanding of how she is seen by one of the reporters who has declared that she is a. Okay.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is. Right.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is.
So there you have it. That is why she is so valuable to that. Oh, by the way, Shelly, thank you so much for the super chat and for watching Royal Sussex. But that is why she is so valuable to the royal family, is because she's what they call an old-fashioned mute woman. Lynn E., thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the super sticker. And super chat. I'm glad you are enjoying today's podcast, and I'm always glad to know that I am a part of anybody's day. It gives me sustenance. Thank you so much. Otherwise, if not for that, people would accuse me of being an old-fashioned mute woman. Just old-fashioned mute. Again, there's a certain imitation going on here. I think that they do this because they really want to draw some type of reaction from the squatties and to keep people engaged on social media. And yeah, I get it. I think we all understand that now, that they do these things deliberately. But you can feel warmth coming off of the Sussexes as they interact with one another. But it's just something that the Cambridges cannot duplicate. When Kate wore that monstrous green gown, one of the supporters for the Cambridges said, well, you remember she wore that gold gown. They didn't have much to say about the green one, so they like to keep going back to that Joan Crawford thing she wore. Now, get crossed. Meghan Markle makes another faux pas after crossing her legs again, meters away from Kate's perfect Duchess slant. So what they're referring to, and this is, as the Sussexes were saying in in the docuseries was that they invent certain things. So there's Meghan back there. She has her legs crossed at the ankle. See the red square on the right side? Well, it's the photo on the left, but that red square, you can see that Meghan has her legs crossed at the ankle. Duchess Camilla has her legs crossed at the ankle. And Kate is doing what they call the Duchess slant. It's where you kind of shift your knees to one side and you keep your legs so tight together that you're not going to see anybody's business. Okay, that's fine. So they call it the Duchess slant. And it's a way that royal women are seated where they keep their knees together and their ankles together, and you just kind of dip to one side from the knee. Now, if you look in the orange blob circle back there, you see that? And by the way, thank you, Brazen Hussy, for sharing this. Notice back there in the next row, there's a woman sitting there with her legs crossed. I mean, crossed. You guys know who that is, right? Can you see that clearly? The woman back there in the orange circle with her legs crossed? That is none other than that is Afro Annie. Yes, Princess Anne, who don't care, is sitting back there with her legs crossed. Meghan's not doing it. Camilla's not, and you know that's Camilla in the white because she has those childbearing hips. So that's Camilla in the white. And back there is, in the second row, that is the Princess Royale, Princess Anne, who has her legs crossed. Anne just don't care. Anne is the kind of person, if a usher walks through there, she just haul off and kick him in the behind because she don't care. So there you have it. There's one of those made up headlines where they are going against Meghan. They have to find something negative to say about Meghan. This was July the 10th, 2018. It had already started. Let's see. Harry said with the press, there were a lot of inventive protocols. Here's an example. So again, Brazen Hussy, thank you so much for sharing that with us on the Twitter. And then here, this is from the Sussexes communications. The statement comes after the first 3 episodes of the couple's Netflix series aired. In it, Harry accused the royals of having a huge level of unconscious bias, right? When it comes to race, and Meghan alleged that the media wanted to destroy her. On Friday, a statement from the couple's global press secretary said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex never cited privacy as a reason for stepping back. This distorted narrative was invented to trap the couple into silence. In other words, to prevent them from earning money, to prevent them from earning a living. It is a way to permanently disparage them with a huge sector of society that chooses to believe whatever the royal reporters say, which chooses to believe that everything about the institution known as the royal family is forthright, honest, and has lots of integrity. When the truth is, they never said anything about privacy. Every time I say that, I'm just like, where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? There is no evidence. So when they say trap the couple into silence, they are saying to prevent them from earning a living. In fact, their statement announcing their decision to step back mentions nothing of privacy. It reiterates their desire to continue their role and public duties. Any suggestion otherwise speaks to a key point of this series. Again, to prevent them from earning. Well, the other part of that, of course, is to prevent them from being public figures. To keep them silent and prevent them from being public figures means that you don't have a rival court. you won't have that rivalry between the various houses of Windsors. So, in other words, the Sussexes are away from the UK, and therefore Kensington Palace does not have any say over their activities. You don't have one House of Windsor overstepping another House of Windsor and then overstepping another House of Windsor. That can't happen because the Sussexes are acting independent of the royal family. So by leaving, they stop that nonsense where Meghan has to wear white or beige so not to offend the emotional support Camilla or jazz hands. She doesn't have to live in their shadow. She doesn't have to hem and haw and guess, can I wear or not wear this? Can I say or not say this? Now they're free of that. Let's see. They are choosing to share their story on their terms, and yet the tabloid media has created an entirely untrue narrative that preeminates press coverage and public opinion. The facts are right in front of them. Again, they did not say it. It is a talking point that has been created and used skillfully by the tabloid media. And it doesn't stop there, because just the other day, we heard Anna Navarra and Joy Behar in a conversation. And what comes up? Privacy. Every week on morning television in the US, that term privacy comes up. So, as I said, it was very skillful. It was very artfully done, and it inflicts more pain, as far as I'm concerned, every single time they use it. I would have to say that judging it on its merits as being something destructive, I would have to say it was quite brilliant. It is brilliant in how destructive it is, but it is also having real life implications because it is creating this aura of negativity around a couple who can do some amazing things and have done amazing things, speaking up about issues before anybody else dares to do so, supporting refugees, fighting against hunger, equity in vaccines, and so on. These things are life-saving. But if it was up to the royal family, who does not want this rivalry, if it was up to the tabloid media, who makes money from all the clicks and hate, then they would never be able to do anything, because they want them quiet and they want them poor. That's what they want. Quiet, poor, and humiliated. And guess what? It ain't ever going to happen, because the Sussexes are the most influential royals on the planet, bar none. The most influential. So it's a fool's errand. It's not going to work, and they are winning. Black Queen says, Baron Duchess, stiff, better keep those legs closed. After all that black cab and breeding mare shenanigans. After all of the black cab and breeding mare shenanigans, sorry, not sorry. Well, yeah, the black cab Duchess, the one who used to fall drunk out of the black cabs, has been notorious for not wearing enough clothing. I'll just say that. She's notorious for not wearing enough clothing. And even after marrying into the family, there were several occasions where she didn't seem to have enough layers on. And yet, is Meghan, who is being called out for wearing a tan coat, a white dress, or wearing a white dress, or wearing a monochromatic outfit here and there, so not to offend the rest of the family. Number one, it's a good style for her. And number two, she had to do that in the royal family so that the other people wouldn't get jealous. And one thing you could always say, She wears enough layers of clothing. Thank you so much, Black Queen, for your comment, and also for reminding us about the old black cab days. Black Queen, just between me and you, I know you saving those pictures too, aren't you? I mean, just for receipt's sake, because I have a few of them from the black cab day. I have a few of those from those black cab days when she used to pass out drunk on the streets of London. But anyway, thank you for sharing that. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. But yeah, every squatty has a copy of the black cab photos. Let me see. What's that, Valerie? Sad about English team, but well done, France. You got that right. Vive la France! Yes, Valerie, I can tell that you're really upset. And anyway, somehow we'll get through this because, as you know, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Did I sound remotely convincing? Mama Doria. Mama Doria. I love Doria even more today than I did yesterday and the day before and the day before that. I love Doria so much that I went through all the trouble to eliminate that big hairy beast that was standing between them in this photo, bringing them closer together. Yes, there was a third figure in this photo, but I couldn't stand the sight of it because it looked too much like Otis the Wino from the Andy Griffith Show. So I painstakingly removed that big, overgrown, overbearing stomach from the center of the photo and brought mother and daughter closer together because I saw no reason why anything that big and hideous and foreboding should have been a part of their lovely mother-daughter image. So I took that big Yeti out of the photo and pushed them closer together. And for that, I'm just going to say to you guys, you're welcome. But this photo, I didn't have to do anything. Just mother-daughter love. That's all you get from them is mother-daughter love. As Meghan said in the past, there is no imitation of life here. She loves her mother loves her, and that's all that matters. They are two powerful women, and they are just lovely together. So that's that. Just wanted to share that. So this is them together, and this is them once I remove that big beast out of the photo. Oh, man. And look at how beautiful her complexion is. Just beautiful. And you guys, one of the most touching parts of this docuseries was so subtle and so touching that I almost cry when I look at it. When Doria was a little nervous, you could tell she was a little nervous when she was sitting there, and she was, I don't know if she was like practicing saying, I'm Doria. But anyway, she was practicing a little, and I thought that was very sweet. It was a nice touch that they didn't remove that from the video, that they showed that she's not, a professional. She's a mom. She's a nervous mom that loves her daughter. And that was very sweet. So I could look at that part over and over again. Doria just like, getting that internal strength up to do this and to make sure that everything comes out right and that she's not not going to embarrass her daughter or misquote or anything like that. So it was very sweet. I love that. And then here, why does Meghan always wear utterly impractical white? Now that is coming from Liz Jones. Impractical white? How about duh? She looks good in it. I mean, just the other day, someone told me, they said she doesn't wear a lot of makeup. It's always that fresh wash look, very subtle lip color, very subtle blush. You know, everything's very subtle. Everything is designed to celebrate life, you know, good, healthy, clean living life. Very subtle. And she happens to look good in white. I don't know why I look at this photo and I'm getting like, you know, one of those old photos of Diane Carroll looking very glamorous, but it reminds me of like old Hollywood glamour. Very Diane Carroll, I think. So I love this photo. There's actually another. There's this one. Beautiful, beautiful. And she looks so young. Gosh, does she look young? I don't know how old these photos are, but she doesn't look much different now. She looks the same. She looks the same. And could you imagine? Could you imagine how some people felt when they were watching, and they watched, as they were watching this docuseries, and no matter what angle, Meghan looked absolutely flawless, beautiful, even washed out with no makeup. Every angle, the light just agrees with her. Every single time, the light agrees with Duchess Meghan. Every time. So it must have behooved some people to have to watch that without any dramatic intervention, you know. Okay, I'm going to stop there. But without any dramatic intervention, Meghan looks flawless. And so Meghan wears white, Meghan wears black, Meghan wears beige. It's very simple, clean lines all the time. And whatever she wears, she looks amazing. She wears a little jumpsuit with the big pockets and everything and the fedora. And she looks absolutely shabby chic. Whatever. She always looks good. So I can imagine that just bothers some people. Barefaced truth. If confidence comes from within, why do so many emaciated women still need war paint? Now, this is coming from Liz Jones. Liz Jones' contribution to the world. At one time, she washed off all her makeup. And I'm pretty sure no sooner than she washed it off did somebody yell, "Put it back on."
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
I'm sure that no sooner did she take it off that somebody said, "Put it back." Put that makeup back on. Are you insane? Put it back. What is? I bet she didn't get far before somebody was calling the police. So there's a such thing as being too honest or something. But she went there. This is the one that seems to think that Meghan wears too much white. Why is Meghan always wearing white? Meghan is wearing too much white. Utterly impractical white. Meghan could wear white or whatever she wants to. Meghan could wear makeup or not wear makeup. It doesn't matter. She's still going to look amazing. So I don't what is it about Meghan's happiness that just seems to trigger these people? I don't get it. Let's see. Shelly L says when she had the towel wrapped around her head while sitting on the counter, she literally looked like her teenage self. Yes. Yes, Shelly L, she did. As a matter of fact, I have that. I do have it. There you have it right there. That was absolutely the next. See how in sync we are with each other. That was absolutely the next photo. That is what, 2020, 21? And look at Meghan. Just as fresh and clean and healthy. So while people worrying about what she's wearing, while people are trying to be honest and stripping off all their makeup, Meghan is just going about her business and looking absolutely amazing. This is why this hate campaign just does not make any sense. Why bother spending this much time talking about a woman who everyone on that side of the story, all of the royal rodents and all of the tabloid reporters, they have declared her so irrelevant, but yet it has sparked quite a bit of shock and amazement that Meghan washes away all of her makeup and just looks like, as Shelly L says, a teenage version of herself. That's it. There's no special lighting or anything like that. This is Meghan, clean, fresh, wash face. Minimal eyebrows, no lashes, beautiful. This is the Meghan that Harry got to know when they were dating. Harry would see her like this, and he liked what he was seeing. He loved who he was talking to, and the rest, of course, is history. And as for the other people, I guess they'll just have to keep trying to be honest with themselves. Even though I'm sure that I speak for all of humanity when I say you need not confess anything to me. I'd rather be able to sleep at night, because that kind of honesty right there, that'll keep you up at night. Anybody being that honest will haunt your dreams, okay? And so I guess I'm saying to Liz Jones,
time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes, Liz Jones, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You hear me, Liz Jones? Ain't nobody got time for that. We ain't got time for it. Whatever you're talking about, we ain't got time for that. Nobody wants that, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Got time for that.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, Shelly Ellen. Thank you so much for the super chat. And as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Oh, you got my puppy barking at the TV. Woo. Well, as I said, this is too much truth in reporting. Oh, boy. Well, let me take this off here because it might be bedtime in certain places, and I don't want to keep y'all up all night. So, again, this is Fresh Wash, Clean Makeup Meghan, Clean Up Makeup Meghan, and that was somebody who seems to think that she wears white too much. And just so we all can agree that Meghan is going to be okay no matter what, this is Meghan's mom. I think she'll be fine. Yeah. She's going to be okay. The rest of them people, I don't know what to say. They have a struggle ahead of them. They've been through a struggle. All right, so Dutch king commissions research into royal role in colonialism. So Willem, is it Willem the second or the third? Willem Alexander. Let me see. I don't know if he's second or third or what, but anyway, this is the king of the Netherlands. This is the one that the royal rodents tried to make this big deal about how they were going to have this problem with him at the that Harry. Okay, let me get this right. They were saying during the Hague Invictus Games that Harry was snubbed by the royal family of the Netherlands, his cousins. So that is the king of the Netherlands. Not a square by any stretch of the imagination. And he and Harry get along very well. As a matter of fact, the Dutch king did show up at the Invictus Games. He and Harry got along quite well, especially when you consider that they're both gingers. Yes, he's a ginger. Harry's a ginger. Wouldn't you like to be a ginger too? They got along very well, which, of course, after that, you didn't hear anything from the tabloid press. They know that there was no merit to what they were saying, but in order to incite any type of negativity toward Harry during that period of the Invictus Games, along with everything else, they had to declare that the King of the Netherlands had it in for him and that he was being normally they would stay with the royal family during a visit to the country. Well, the truth is, Harry was there working. Harry would rather be with his team during an event like that, which is the only thing that makes sense. So, this idea that he was being snubbed was utterly ridiculous. But they said it, and it didn't mean anything, especially to people who know better. Well, this is the same king of the Netherlands whose mother, Queen Beatrix, stepped down from the throne because she was getting older and wanted him to have a chance to rule as a young man because, well, she's probably still in the best of health. So she quit and she gave the throne to him and went on about her business and stay out of stuff. The House of Orange is the name of the royal family. That is the House of Orange dynasty. He has a commission to look into colonialism. One of the recent acts that he has done for the people of the Netherlands and for people of color everywhere is he took away the use of the royal golden carriage. This is the one that they use, the state carriage that's used for weddings, I suppose, for the what do you call it? The coronations. I don't know if they did, but that's what it's there for. Well, at the time when it was commissioned, the Netherlands was still an empire. They still had colonies in different places around the world. A matter of fact, if you go to the Caribbean, they still have territory down there. Well, notice the carriage has murals on the side of it, and those murals depict people of color being subservient to white people. And that is why they took this carriage out of service. It wasn't so much that this carriage is offensive because it was made from the wealth of the colonies, but it's also very offensive because those panels feature some of those images, kind of like the Blackamoor images, images of slavery, images of conquest. And so he decided until we come to terms with things, this carriage will not go into use. And just like the Confederate flag is better off putting this in a museum somewhere, or like some of those statues to the Confederacy here in the US, like they said, that statue belongs in a museum, not in a public square. So they don't use it anymore. So he's he's a pretty nice guy. That's what I'm trying to say. He's been controversial because well, he's had a reputation, but as king, he's at least a thinking man, and he's also a certified commercial pilot. He used to fly for KLM. So he wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. He wasn't like the Prince of Wales that goes skiing and tends to the gardens and stuff like that. He actually had a full-time job. He loves to fly, so he became a pilot. So there you are. Not only is he the king, but he can also fly a commercial jet. How do you like that? And then there's this kid right here. This is somebody that I think we all loved from the first time we saw him because of the embrace. Meghan is a hugger. She hugs, which seems to rub certain people the wrong way. Well, when this happened, the evil, menacing tabloid press declared, my God, have I been on for 2 hours? How have I been on here for 2 hours? I just noticed that. I just noticed that. It's been 2 hours and there's 1,500 people. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Okay, so even on, was it even Good Morning Britain? They claim that he kissed her. They claim that there was a kiss between them. Now, this was during Meghan's farewell tour of their royal duty. They were leaving the royal family. They were going to Canada to sort things out. And then when things got tough in Canada, a mighty figure in American cinema came forth with his jet, his security, and a mansion fit for a Sussex, and helped them out. So that all of that happened right after this. But in the meantime, as a last strike against the Sussexes on the way out of town, they declared that it seemed rather unusual that a senior member of the royal family would embrace and kiss this young man. Well, this is a high school. This is a high school, which made the story all that much more awful that they would even perpetuate a lie like that. They even invited this kid on to Good Morning Britain, amongst other shows. He's an honor student. His name is Aka Okoye. Let me see here. Congratulate you on you achieving a AAA, which means that I think he's an honor student. And now you are off to Jesus College, Cambridge University, to study education. Black boys winning is the hashtag there. She really is beautiful, isn't it? Well, that is how he referred to Meghan. After they embraced, he turned around and smiled and looked to the crowd and said, she really is beautiful, isn't it? And that, of course, was the big hashtag of the day when that happened. But the thing is, there was no kiss. There was no kiss. There wasn't a kiss. I repeat, nobody kissed each other. There was an embrace. But they would have gotten away with that lie, but for the fact that the Sussexes or someone in their group had a different camera angle that we were able to see as they were trying to build up this big lie. And if you look at the other camera angle, you can see clearly that there was no kiss. They embraced, and of course, as you can see, his eyes were just huge because when he left for school that day, he had no way of knowing that he would be called up to the podium. He had no way of knowing that he was going to even see the Duchess of Sussex, let alone that she would embrace him in front of his classmates. And this all started because Meghan was talking about women, empowering women or women's rights or whatever it was. And Meghan said, wouldn't it be nice if there was a man in the crowd who would, or a young man in the crowd who would like to speak on behalf of women? And so everybody in his class turned to him, and because they knew he was the brightest star in the room. He is, the person that they expect to succeed in this life. God, I hope he doesn't become a Tory. But he's the person who everybody expects to succeed. And so they turned to him and they were like, oh, he'll go. Why don't you? They built him up, and all of a sudden he ran up on the stage. They embraced, and that was that. But of course, the sinister, evil, negative, nasty tabloid press had to make it seem like Meghan kissed him and embraced him, and that it was so odd and unusual, and they even, they were just trying to make something weird out of nothing, and that was really terrible. So again, he's an honor student. He has a bright future ahead of him. And this was from last spring, I think. Might save this photo. But yeah, so good kid, bright future, very handsome young man too. He has a bright future ahead of him. And yeah, and I'm glad that he was able to have this moment of fame without all of that hate shifting toward him. And I think I think he's raised by a single mother, without all that hate being directed toward him and his family. So, when something like that happens, you want to enjoy the moment, but as squatties, we all collectively hold our breath because we know how evil some people are. Stephen Holmes says the sun never sets on the British Empire. I think the sun has set on the British Empire. As a matter of fact, what's left of the empire doesn't get much daylight. But anyway, thank you for your comment. And of course, as Her Majesty the Queen would say, oh, wait. Where's my picture? Oh, never mind. But yeah, the sun has set. The lights have been turned off forever. And there's not that much empire left. But thank you for your comment. Oh, and also, thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. And also, thank you for your super sticker. Okay. And guess what, you guys? It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I am done. Wait, and
Nobody got time for that.
And I am done. So thank you all so much, all 1,500 plus of you all that joined us today on Royal Sussex. And please go back and watch Harry and Meghan again. I wonder if that's why it crashed. It's because so many people have watched over and over again. Yes, it has been a horrible anus. It has. That's what I was looking for, right? But I have the actual photo. I just don't know what I did with it, but I have the photo from that day where the Queen says, 1992 is a year that I should look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It has been a horrible anus. 1992 is a year that I should look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It has been a horrible anus. Or an anus, what is that? Anus horribilis? Oh, man. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I don't know if anybody else is coming on later. I imagine Special K Talks might be on tonight, although I did not see a what do you call it? But she usually comes on Saturday, and they say that there is a rumor that Tina and Michelle may be on Sunday. So hopefully they will be on Sunday, but otherwise we'll see. But I hope they are on Sunday. That would be great if they do have a show Sunday. So keep your fingers crossed, and remember the safe word is Nana. Oh, that's our safe word. Nana. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Miss Kathy. Oh, wow. Yes, I thought Sussex Timeline. Fun show today, Baron. Thank you for the laughs. Have a good evening. Thank you, Sussex Timeline. You just posted something, didn't you? Let me see. You guys, Sussex Timeline. Yes, there it is. You guys just posted something. So let me share the link to Sussex Timeline. Sussex Timeline is a chronological way to tell what the Sussexes are doing so that there is indisputable evidence. It's a way to keep receipts, right? So I'm going to share the link with you guys. There we go. That is for the Sussex Timeline. So when things happen with the Sussexes, sometimes we forget when it happened and in which order. Well, this is a valuable tool to help us. Now, please go over there and subscribe. This is yet another Sussex-friendly platform that needs our support. So I am going to put that link at the top of the chat. You all can go and subscribe today. That will help out the algorithm a lot. So let me see. I got to put that at the top of the chat. 1992 is a year which I shot. And once I start doing that, I cannot stop. Do you guys know that? Once I start, I cannot stop. So there it is. Sussex Squad Timeline is at the top of the chat. And if you click on that, it will take you to their channel. And you guys can see a chronological way of learning about the Sussexes. There you have it. Receipts, and more receipts. Keep those receipts coming. Okay, last word of the day is thank you so much. You're welcome so much. Last word of the day is yes, Nana. Our last word is our safe word. This keeps our partner from injuring us if things are getting rough in the sack. The way that we know that someone is going too far is we say, Nana. That's our safe word. Nana. A matter of fact, that's just how she says it. Nana. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, you guys, You know, it helps if you take your wig and you shake it. You know what I'm saying? You hold it by the, but I guess they know that already. You hold it by the base of the skull cap and you shake it, and that picks up the volume. Don't ask me how I know that, but that's how you can help to give some volume to your party hat. All right, so thank you, everyone. Oh man. All right. Let me see. Oh, she was on Friday. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I thought I saw something for her. So it was Friday. I thought she usually comes on Saturdays though, but that's cool. Yeah, I guess Friday is the day, isn't it? I watched Celibacy this morning. I love Celibacy. That's like my favorite part about Saturday is Celibacy. Love Celibacy. All right, so we had our last word. And of course, we always celebrate our Queen of Hearts, our Queen of everything. And we can ginge avenge. All right, you guys, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, I'm glad you had a good time today, Judy Rigo. It's a great way to relieve pressure, forget about our troubles. And I'm gonna watch the Sussexes again today. I'm probably gonna watch them like every day, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna help crash the system. All right, and cue Ginger Avenger.
people who aren't necessarily reaching out, who are struggling, who perhaps don't feel they can reach out, or the fact that, you know, maybe they haven't, you know, realised that addictive behaviours have sort of established.
Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you were really winding me up now. Yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
All right, you guys, as you heard, Duchess of Success is on. I'm going to go over there while I make myself something to eat. And anyway, I'm done. I just felt like throwing a little more shade out there at the end. But I will see you guys. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for your generous contributions to Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday.